Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be chatting about my personal experience with my breast augmentation. So if you guys didn't know already, I got my boobs done 3 years ago. Best decision I've made. I absolutely love them. I would never go back and change anything, but I wanted to go into detail with you guys about the whole process. So the before process, decision making, sizing, all of that sort of stuff, and then also the post-op recovery and pretty much all the way up until now. Problems, anything like that, BII, I know that's a massive point that people want to talk about, people want to make sure that it's out there and people know of. So we'll go over everything, but again, this is just my personal experience. I'm going to be sharing it with you for the first time since I got them done. I really wasn't open about it at the start. I'm pretty much, I don't know why I've had a change of heart. I think it's just because I've had so many people in my messages asking me questions, and I know I would have saved a lot of time if there were more videos about girls' breast augs out on the internet. Remember, this was 3 years ago. I feel like there's a lot more now, but I would have saved a lot of time, so I thought I would just make this video. It's all the questions in one. So let's get started. Okay, let's reverse back about 3.5 years ago. So I had grown up with a lot of people around me having breast augmentations. I myself, gene-wise, was never going to have boobs. And you know what? It wasn't that big of a deal. It didn't affect my confidence. Nothing really changed for me in that sense of my mental state before and after, but beforehand I actually just have like an obsession with the woman body. And my most, like, the best part about a woman's body to me is their curves. I love curvaceous body types. I think it's beautiful, and like silhouette stuff, absolutely love it. So my favorite thing, and the thing that I was like, oh, I wish I had that, was like ski slope boobs. And I know this is funny because a lot of people are like, I don't want those kind of boobs, but I fucking loved them. So ski slope boobs, what I'm talking about is where you have a low profile, barely any cleavage, and it comes up to the nipple, and then you have more under boob. So it's more of a natural boob. It sits straight, and then it comes underneath, and it's got more profile down the bottom rather than up the top. Absolutely love them. What I was actually doing in that time, I was looking around at a couple girls on social media who got their boobs done. I was looking into everything on the internet. I was looking into people in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. I never went overseas. I never wanted that to be a thing because I wanted to make sure I was comfortable within my own country while I was going through the post-operation recovery period. So I was looking in my country, within my country. And there were multiple people that came up. Now, I stumbled across one of my girlfriends from AMPM way back when, and she had such a good pair of boobs. And I was like, where did you get it? I messaged her personally, and I was like, you know what, forgive me if I'm wrong, but, and I said to her, I said, if you don't have a boob job, I am so jealous. Like, your boobs are perfect. She said, no, I went to this doctor, blah, blah, blah. So I went and booked in a consult with him. He was actually my first and last consult, which is crazy because I kind of did so much research for that 6 months time. I looked into certain doctors, how they did things, the type of recovery methods they use, the type of implants they use, because some implants you can get are actually obviously better than others, and majority of the time what you pay for is what you get. And I feel like it's super important when you're doing something like a massive surgery like this to go with someone who is a renowned surgeon. So I looked into this doctor. I literally looked into everything, reviews. I went on like these pages that pretty much talk shit about doctors and surgeons, and I read through his. He had very little people saying bad things about him, and I was like, wow, he really is the best I've seen so far. So I booked in a free consult. A lot of these places do free consults so that you can kind of get an understanding of how they work, what they do, all of that sort of stuff. And the consult that I booked in wasn't for like another 4 months. So from the 6 months that I initially was researching and doing all of that stuff, I had to add another 4 months on to wait for the consult. When I got to the consult, I went with my mum. We sat down together with that surgeon and we spoke over everything. He was absolutely incredible. He was so detailed and smart. You sit up with the crop top, and then he actually gives you some implants to put into your top to see what it is that you prefer. The width, the profile, the shape, all of that sort of stuff. And it was really eye-opening because in that moment, like within that consult, I realized that, and this is not a dig at anyone that has these type of implants, again, personal preference, but this is when I realized that not every single person that goes in to get a breast augmentation comes out with big, high-profile boobs that are kind of around a shape. So that's what you would see. I feel like what social media is dominated by is big, round breasts. So I sat down and spoke to him and I said, look, I don't want anything that looks out of dimensions. Okay, I want something as natural as possible. I want it to be as natural as possible. And I just drilled that into him. I was like, natural. Like, I want to have boobs, but I don't want to go over the top. So he recommended a smaller size. Majority of girls usually get a 300 plus cc. I got a 295 cc. I had very little boobs to start off with. My breast tissue was very small. So we had to work with that on top of what I wanted my implant to sit like, what I wanted it to look like, and to heal over time and all that sort of stuff, what was best for me, where it's gonna keep in place, where it's gonna have the most longevity in my body before I have to get it replaced and taken out. But it was something that I was so happy with his response, and I'll quickly give you the insight on what we ended up going with. We ended up going with a textured silicone 295 cc teardrop under the muscle, and I'll quickly run through what they mean. So obviously textured, the actual implant is textured. It has little riffles in it pretty much, which are supposedly meant to attach to your skin and kind of insert themselves a little bit more so they don't slip around the joint. 295 cc is pretty much the size of it. So like I said before, a lot of girls go 300 cc above. I wanted to make sure that I stayed at under 300. 295 cc for me was actually bigger than what I thought, but I stuck with that and I'm super happy with that because as I've kind of grown, developed more muscle, put on more fat, my body's really grown into my boobs. Teardrop is your shape. So a lot of people have high profile, a medium profile, and then you have this option of teardrop. Some doctors don't actually do teardrop. Teardrop is exactly as it explains. It's got a very low profile at top. So say this is our chest bone. Very low profile at the top, comes down, and then it comes out and in, like the ski slope boobs that I was talking about before. This is like a major thing for me. I 1000% wanted a teardrop breast implant. And then the last one was under the muscle. So you have 3 different options when you're getting a breast augmentation. It can be over the muscle where it sits over the top of your chest muscle, or you can get it under the muscle completely. So they actually cut a tear through your muscle, place the implant in, and then your muscle obviously recovers over time, joins back together, strands, works all in one. Or you can get, I think it's a half in, half out kind of thing. So you have half of your implant is in the muscle, under the muscle, and half is out. I have no idea how that works, and it sounded sketchy to me, just sounded weird. So again, I went with what he said was the most natural, which was my 4 major points. And we went in and booked in a date. Now, this doctor, this surgeon, was booked out for a year. So I booked in for a year. And then they actually came back to me about 3 months later and said they had a cancellation within 2 months. So I booked that in and I just went full send. I just fully sent it. So it got to a week before my operation and I was feeling actually really confident and excited. I've never had a minute of doubt. If you have a doubt going into something as major as that, do not do it, pull out. You should not be doing it. There should not be an inch of doubt in you when you're going into a major operation. Just keep that in mind. So went in, I made sure that I built up a lot of content for my social media because like I said, I wasn't going to go out and tell people. It was a personal thing. I was keeping it to myself. So I made sure that I had content to post while I was in recovery so that people didn't know that I went into a major operation. Anyway, so went in on the day And I was nervous at this stage because I've never been put under anesthetic ever in my life. I've never heard anything, touch wood, never broken anything, never had to be put under anesthetic. So I went in and they get you to have a shower, put a gown on, and pretty much just wait outside. And as soon as they call you in, they get you on the bed. Last thing I remember is they put the gas mask on and I was out. I just remember like my eyes closing as if I was just going to sleep, which is pretty normal. And then the next thing I woke up, I don't even remember getting up from the surgery table. So yeah, then all I remember is eating a Vegemite sandwich in the doctor's waiting area, waiting for my mum. And my mum came and picked me up and we went home. And when I got home, then I kind of came back into, I guess, reality. And I had a look, I was all taped up and I had a massive bandage around my boobs. When I looked down, I was like, oh my gosh, they're freaking huge. Because when I looked down, I was so used to looking down and being able to see like every part of my tummy because I was so flat. So when I looked down and I actually saw like mounds, I was like, what the shit? Like what? Like it was just insane. So it was a 6-week recovery. So in that time, you weren't able to do any kind of cardio, jumping, sudden movements, anything like that, which was fine. You could go for walks and you could do anything. It also said not to lift anything heavier than 10 kilos. I'm guessing in that sense they mean picking up a water bottle or something. They're not meaning go to the gym and do under 10 kilos of weights. So that 6-week recovery really was 6 weeks. When it got to the end of that 6 weeks, I was able to do everything as per normal. Everything felt normal for me, minus one thing. So I was doing actually handstands. I went into handstands. I said, look, this is my job. Am I able to do handstands? And he said, you know what? If you do it and it doesn't feel uncomfortable at all, then definitely. Because at the end of the day, handstands don't really use your chest. It's not a chest dominant exercise. It's more shoulders. So when I did it, felt completely normal. Two things that I kind of lost was my pull-up strength, obviously, because when you are hanging on a bar, or even push-up strength, dip strength, push, dip, pull, or hanging. So first of all, I didn't hang off a bar for at least 3 months because I was so nervous. Because I did once about 10 weeks post-operation. I hung from a bar and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel comfortable, because what happens is when you hang from a bar, you engage your chest muscles, and when you engage your chest muscles with breast implants, they split. They don't split, that sounds really bad. They move. So they move with your muscle. Whatever your muscle's doing, especially because I got under the muscle, whatever my muscle is doing, my boobs are doing too. So when I squeeze, they move.
Did that so well.
Anyway. So as for the looks of things, when I came out of surgery for that next couple of days, up to a week, I was very swollen all over my body because I had a lot of water weight that I was holding from the operation. It's your body's natural reaction to that kind of stuff and to the painkillers and everything else that I was doing. I was having painkillers every now and then. Definitely wasn't the dose that I was told to have. I didn't want to have as much as I needed to if I didn't need it. So that's what the doctor says. If you don't feel like you need it, then don't take it. But my boobs were very swollen. They were very swollen, very high profile, and they were just kind of like, if you looked at it from the front, you couldn't really even tell that I had the implant in because they were so, like they were very compact, I guess. Over time, so I would say over a week or two, they started to drop, which was really nice. I started to see their shape take a little bit more. But to be honest, I didn't see their shape get to the point that I was like obsessed with them until 6, 7, 8 months in. And that was the time that it took that was the time it took to get the real shape to show. Over time, your body has to adapt to having them there, and you kind of have to allow the weight of them as well to kind of help with the drop. And because mine was under the muscle, my muscle had to recover. everything within my body had to recover before it allowed it to kind of sit in its full look. Scarring wise, I got under the boob here. So I have 2 little scars here. On one side of my scarring, I have a little bit of redness, and I've just used certain oils and stuff that help with that. Over time, over the 3 years that I've never had problems with them. I know there's a lot of information regarding BII, and I know there's a lot of information regarding some breast implants in Australia being recalled. My implants are not a part of that. However, my doctor made sure that we were all comfortable with that. Our surgeon, he made sure he called everyone, the practice called everyone. The government, the Australian Health and Government, they have a list, I guess, of people that have had breast augmentations, and they check in on them every year. So every single year they call up and they make sure that your implants are doing well, that you feel good. If not, obviously they tell you to go in and see your surgeon and get checked out and everything like that. So it is definitely something that I cannot say to you guys, no, you'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. You need to do your research, and you need to make sure that you are okay with the risks of maybe getting that. For me personally, I've seen a lot of it on Instagram of girls that have had BII and had to get their implants removed, and once they did, they were 1000% better for it. Great decision if that's what is happening to you. I also know so many girls that have had them in real life, never posted on Instagram, like they don't even use social media. People within my own life, a lot of them have had implants, have never had problems. So, and that's going on, like some of these ladies have had them for 40, 50 years. Like I said at the start of this video, I didn't gain any more confidence. I love my boobs now. I didn't love my boobs before, but I wouldn't say it affected my overall confidence at all. I just think that it's now one thing that I'm actually really glad that I got. I love the look of them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like my confidence being naked is no different. You know what? Let's leave some before and after photos, because that's the stuff that shows the difference between how I was before and how I was after. Alrighty, that is it. I think I covered majority of questions and topics that you guys wanted to know about. If you have any more, leave them below in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I got a little bit more information about it. Make sure you do your research. If you are interested in getting a breast augmentation, you have to do your research. Find a good surgeon. Make sure you're paying the money for the quality that you want. That is my advice. Love you guys. I will see you on the next video.